Good evening, everyone. This is Sean from BlueRidgeSilverhound. We are going to go ahead and take a look at the Pocket Change Market Report. It's been about 2 weeks since I last did one of these, but all the coins favored today in this video is all from eBay, March 3rd, 2020. As a matter of fact, all 16 coins that I'm going to be discussing in this video all sold today on this day, March 3rd. So, should be a lot of fun. As always, a couple of my requirements for the Pocket Change Market Report. Number one, a lot of the coins that you're going to find on here are raw. Okay, there are no graded coins. These are all coins that have at one point just been sold on here. Okay, March 3rd. So these are all coins from this particular date and time. These are primarily Pocket Change finds. Okay, they could also be coin roll hunting finds, BU roll finds, things of that nature. So stuff that truly is out in the wild today or in circulation, if you wanted to get a little bit more technical about it. These are all coins that one way or the other can be found, just by going through change or rolls. Pretty easy. In this particular video, what I also like to place a emphasis on is that these coins are going to be legit errors or varieties. So varieties being double dies, repunch mint marks, if that's applicable, those will all be on here as well. So before we get started, as always, I got to go ahead and do my good old YouTube shtick. And as always, like, share, subscribe. If this is your first time here, welcome in great big white letters. And feel free to hit the bell for instant notifications for any new videos that I post and upload. So, without further ado, how about we go ahead and jump into the first sale of the week, or of the day, rather. I could probably do one of these a day, because that's how frequently a lot of these coins are selling on here. So, the first coin that we're going to go ahead and take a look at is going to be a 1970S Lincoln Cent. Pretty easy to spot one of these and change today. They're very widely available, and this particular one is the large date type. You can see the 7 is a little bit lower than the 0. And this inner curl of the 9 is pointing down and to the right as opposed to pointing to the 7, which would be a small date. So the big thing about this coin, okay, aside from the small, large date variations of these, is that this one can sometimes have a really nice repunch mint mark. So here's a superimposed image provided by the seller. This is the actual coin that someone was bidding on at the time. Or actually, this was a buy it now. Okay, this is a bin. But this one right here exhibits a really nice S over S repunch mint mark. The S is over the primary S north, if we're looking at a compass direction. But this coin sold for $44.95 best offer. So it probably sold somewhere in the $30 to $40 range. This is a really nice high-graded mint state example, full red. You don't see a lot of problem areas. It's probably like a mint state 65. And that's why it sold for so much money. So keep an eye out for coins like this, especially 1970. The S Mint traditionally has a few different types of repunch mint marks. You guys can always check out websites like coppercoins.com to find the attribution of your RPM. So this is a really cool example here. So the next one that we have here, I actually talked about this coin a short while ago, probably about a week ago. That's because one of my patrons sent me a little nice gift care package, and one of these coins were in there. This is the 2005 P Jefferson Nickel, but this is kind of like a throwback to the good old Black Diamond Buffalo era of what we're known to seeing, from 1913 to 1938. So this is kind of like a rehash of that Buffalo Nickel. It's a 1-year type. There's even a modified portrait of Thomas J on the front of it, along with some other design devices that were a little bit different during this kind of like commemorative period. They did it in 04 and then into 05. and then they resumed with a different obverse portrait on what we see and change today with this newer nickel. So this one right here has what we typically refer to as a braided die. So just a little bit more over polishing right here on this one of the hind legs. Okay, this one is actually referred to as a detached leg variant, but this is more along this the realm of being in error. And that's what die abrasion usually is. It's just a little bit of an over polishing of the die. So it gives the appearance of this leg actually floating and not really attached to the buffalo. All right. This one sold for 99 cents. All right. As you can see, it's a really, kind of beat up, circulated example. But, this one was sold for $1. Okay. So that's what we expect for something like this. The next coin we have here is one that comes up quite frequently, especially you folks there on the East Coast. This is the 1999 P Delaware State Quarter. Now, on the reverse, you have Caesar Rodney riding this horse right here. And some people will say, well, look at that. The horse is actually spitting. Well, this is actually, and it remains to be seen which one it is. It looks like more of a die crack, but I've also heard people say that it's also a clash. So I suppose it could be either or. The reason why I'm kind of going in the direction of a die crack is that it's just the way it looks. It's just really raggedy, and it does look like a crack. But this one is called the Spitting Horse. And believe it or not, these have kind of like a little cult following. So they sell for quite a bit more than I guess you would imagine. This particular example sold for $6.35. March 3rd. All right, so that's the Spitting Horse Delaware State Quarter. The next one we have here, now this one's pretty interesting. This is a 1980p. All right, and as you can see, it looks like it's got a little bit of damage right here. So it's not going to grade cleanly if you set this off to like a third-party grader. But what this is it's a Jefferson nickel that was inadvertently struck on a bronze cent planchet, which explains kind of that coppery look. You have some of the devices missing here because the size of a bronze planchet that was intended for Lincoln cents is a lot smaller than a Jefferson nickel design work. So you can see a lot of this stuff here just getting cut away, and same on the reverse as well. E pluribus unum, cut in half. But you have some of this damage here on the edge, right? It's right next to the date, and at the base of the bust for Thomas Jefferson. So this one right here actually sold for best offer $225. So probably sold like somewhere around maybe like $125, $150. I'm not subscribed to like WorthPoint or anything. But, you guys can check it out if you guys have a subscription to a service like that, where you could go back and take a look at how much best offer prices have hit on some of these buy it nows. So that's the 1980 Jefferson nickel there. All right, so we have a set of 3 Wisconsin quarters. These are all 2004 D Denver minted Wisconsins. And this seller actually sold a set of the leaf variant. Now these pictures are kind of hard to tell, but these were, I actually got in a little bit closer from the auction, and sure enough, it has a low leaf, and it has a high leaf, and it has the regular type. So the winner of this auction received all 3 coins, which is cool. It's a cool little kind of like variation kit for this extremely popular die variety for the Wisconsin quarters. So with the low and the high leaf and then the regular, this particular set sold for $141 March 3rd. Okay, so it's a nice raw set. It's in these 2x2 holders. These coins were typically dropped and found in places like Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, that region. So that's where, even to this day, there are folks down in that area. Okay, you guys listen up, that these are where these coins came from, that area, and that's where the Federal Reserve Bank dropped these low and high leaf variation Wisconsin quarters. They are still out there. I still see them pop up on the forum chat pages and through like Facebook pages as well, and they're still worth quite a bit of money. All three coins, $140, not too bad. All right, so the next one we have here, you guys have seen this. I've seen these quite a few times, but this is an Idaho State Quarter, 2007 P. This one right here has these kind of like areas on the coin that look like it's a type of strike through. Okay, so you see it on the obverse, and you see it on the reverse as well. So you have a big old swath on the reverse that goes through the Idaho State profile on the reverse of the coin and into the fields. And what this is a strike through grease. All right, so on these newer coins, the amount of grease used is a lot lighter, but when they're struck through onto a coin, okay, you have the appearance of kind of like, it looks like, if I had to venture a guess of what this looks like, it looks like it could be like a lake shore, you know. It looks like a lake, and then you have all the land around it, or vice versa. It actually could look like a Hawaiian island with all the water around it. I don't know, but you have these voids in there that look like starbursts, and that's what you have. This particular example here is sold for $2.69. Hey, you can't hit $100 on every single coin, but coins like this, keep in mind, they sell for a few bucks, you know, and they all add up. Okay, pretty cool. All right, so the next one we have here, of course, you know, we've talked about this time and time again. It's the 1969S Lincoln Cent. Okay, you have the possibility of finding one of the strongest double dies in history. Okay, but if you can't find the $25,000 coin, how about something like this? This is neither a variety or an error, but this is what it's referred to as machine doubling. Okay, so you get a little bit of the die hop as these coins are being ejected after the strike. And as you can see, I mean, it looks like it has some pretty nasty doubling on the date, but you could also see the step-like features of the machine doubling. And then to another extent on this particular date, where you have some of the major machine doubling, you also have some of the profile doubling as well, which is really strong on this coin. So this example here is sold for $31.75. Pretty miraculous that a coin like this, straight out of change, that is neither a variety or an error, sells for this kind of cash. Pretty nice. Keep an eye out for things like this. There is a group of people that buy really nice, strong machine doubled coins. All right, so we have a really nice error here. This is a 1997D Washington quarter. All right, this one right here is off center by about 20%. It does appear to be a little bit circulated. You can see a lot of the wear on the highest areas of the coin, on the design rather, on both the obverse and the reverse of the coin. So it looks more probably AU 55-ish, but it's kind of crazy that something like this will come out in pocket change. So this example here sold for $21.23 on eBay today. All right, so pretty neat. So this one right here, again, I do apologize about the fuzzy picture, but this one was right directly from that listing. It's a 1948 Lincoln Wheat Cent, and this one is a strike through. You can see this big old crater gap right here, right above the date. And this is struck through either a big old gob of grease or some debris, you know, like a piece of wood with some grease or something to that effect. So this is a pretty neat coin. Again, these pop up when you least expect it. And this particular example sold for $10 today. All right. All right, so what we have next here is going to be a $1969 bill, a Federal Reserve note. So the reason why that this is even on the list is because of what you see on the reverse. This actually has a wet ink transfer error on the reverse. So you have a partial front to back offset wet ink transfer error. And it doesn't cover the entire reverse of the bill. It's just maybe a third of it, but it's just enough on there that you could tell exactly what it is. You could see some of the design details of what would normally be on the front of the bill printed on the back, but it's just a transfer of the wet ink when these sheets are layered on top of each other. Now this one right here is sold for $15.99. The front, completely clean. Okay, there's no transfer on this side. Usually with a wet ink, it's going to be one side only. So that's pretty neat. It's a little bit older note, but you can find these in newer notes, like 2013 series. I haven't seen any for 2017 yet. I'm sure there would be a few of them out there somewhere. All right, so we have a 1970D. This is a Denver minted coin. There's the mint mark. And what we have here is a Washington quarter that was struck on dime thickness stock. So you guys know exactly how thin a dime is compared to a quarter. Okay, it's quite a bit thinner. So when the planchets were punched out of the strip, okay, some of the quarter-sized punch-outs came from dime thickness, okay, that was intended for Roosevelt dimes. So looking at this image right here without actually holding a quarter and a dime together, or holding a regular thickness quarter and this example together, so you can see the difference. On the dime stock coins, they're going to feel a little bit lighter, first of all. And second of all, you're going to get a lot of weakness in the strike. So you see this right here. The whole top of Liberty is pretty weak. A lot of the design details on the reverse is pretty weak as well. When the coin or the planchet isn't up to the specs for a quarter, okay, the press is not going to hammer the strike as strong on these because it's not quite up to the thickness. So this one right here, sold for $47. Usually these coins end up coming up through Kennedy half dollars, where the Kennedy half dollars are struck on quarter stock. You see those a little bit more frequently, especially for you avid roll hunters out there that go through a lot of half dollars. You guys have probably found a few of these at some point or another. So it's a pretty neat find, another great error to find out there. And again, you don't need to grade or authenticate any of these errors to sell them for a good deal of money. You're going to find that you're probably going to waste more money sending this out if you know you were just originally going to sell it for 40, 50 bucks. So probably use some discretion when it comes to using those third-party graders. Sometimes it's just not necessary. All right, so we have a pretty neat statement piece here. It's a 1983 P Jefferson Nickel that's struck 55% off-center. What makes this one really cool is any off-center, the greater the off-center percentage is, and you still have a full date in there, you have a coin that's worth quite a bit of money. Now, this example right here that has some kind of like greasy goop or something on the reverse, that might have played a little bit of a role in how much it's sold for. Plus, you have a few scratches on the blank part of the coin. This one only sold for what I feel like is a relative bargain at $23.17, March 3rd. All right, so this is one of the fun errors I like to find. Of course, it's one of the easiest to find, and that's going to be rim clips. This is a 1960p Jefferson Nickel. You can see the clip right here, and then you also have the same issue on the reverse, same side when you flip it over. You know it's a genuine clip because it has the Blakesley effect on the opposite edge from where the clip is. So the Blakesley effect is just a softening area right here on the rim that doesn't, strike up nearly as well because you got the clip. All right. So this one right here sold for $2.75. Again, it's one of the more common errors to come across in pocket change today. All right, so this one's really cool. It's a 1978p Jefferson Nickel. Okay, much like the other one that we saw earlier in the episode, this one as well as the other are struck on bronze cent planchets. Okay, so this was intended for a Lincoln cent, only this Jefferson nickel was struck on a Lincoln cent bronze planchet as opposed to the nickel type that it should be struck on. You can tell again it's a lot smaller than a traditional nickel size, the Lincoln cent planchet that is, and it's got that coppery goodness that you would expect for a coin like this. This one obviously came out of change, so this one was a really great catch for whoever the discoverer was. This particular coin sold for $173.20, a really nice prized acquisition through your change. Keep an eye out for things that look like this. You would be surprised how many of them are out there. All right, so we got a few more left. We have a 1982 P candy $50. Okay, it doesn't look like much, but if you take a close look on the reverse of where the eagle's leg and set of tail feathers are, usually there would be a set of initials for the designer of the reverse of the coin. In this case, it's completely missing. Okay, again, it's another abraded die. The initials were polished off, and therefore the coin was struck without any initials on the reverse. This is a cherry picker's guide variety. Okay, it's one of two different dates that are represented in the cherry picker's guide. This example is nothing to write home to mother about in terms of grade, and because of that, it sold for $6.99. But, at the end of the day, that's 14 times your money, that otherwise would generally just get scooped back up into another roll and then sent back to the bank. All right, let's be honest. And then finally, someone finally sold one of these. I was waiting for a 2015 Philadelphia Homestead Quarter doubled pump handle to come out into the marketplace, and by golly, we had one that sold today. So this one right here is Wexler's Double Die Reverse number 5. Okay, this one made a lot of waves when it was first discovered 5 years ago. I remember these coins selling for $200, $300, $400 from the first couple examples that were ever found. Come to find out, as time went on, there were quite a few of these that did exist. Okay, it's not a short, kind of minted variety. Okay, these were out there. All right, and it's pretty crazy that you would have the pump handle design in one window pane doubled, with enough spread. I mean, this is a really radical double die. And that's why it was acclaimed as being one of the greatest modern varieties, even to this day. Now, this example, to give you an idea of how far these things have dropped, this one sold for only $20. And I actually found a few of them that sold today that all look like this. Kind of like this nice median mid-state 63 look, probably came out of change. Has a little bit of wear to it. I don't know. It's an okay coin, but it's a really cool variety. And if you find one of these out there, woo, there you go. $20 bill in your pocket. The other one sold for about $21. Okay, and the grade is about the same. So, guys, I want to thank you guys for joining in on this Pocket Change Market Report. It was a lot of fun to talk about coins that you could find in your change today that you could just whisk away on eBay and make yourself a few bucks or $100. All right, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme type of episode, but it's a get-rich-slow kind of episode. It's like, you could sell 20 coins in a month, make a few $100, and then repeat. All right, all the way throughout the rest of the year. And, at the end of the day, it'll fund your other interests, whether it's more coin collecting or getting more rolls, buying some silver, stacking silver, in this weird economy that we got going on today. But, that is a lot of fun. Just searching is half the fun. All right, and then doing something with it is the other half. Having fun with it. Taking your significant other to dinner with your new mini windfall. So I want to thank you guys again for joining. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for instant notifications. And yeah, I'm your host Sean with Blue Ridge Silverhound. As always, we keep popping it hot, and Coinaholics, we are discovering together. I wish you guys a wonderful rest of the week. I will see you on the next video. Keep hunting. Enjoy the search.